Good morning. Welcome to Julian's Rideshare. I'm sorry. Try that again. Good morning. Welcome to Julian's Detroit Driver Blue frequency. Yes, you're on the channel, the frequency that promotes the encouragement, support, and helpful hints for rideshare drivers in the Metro Detroit area in the state of Michigan. At Detroit Driver Blue, we tend to go over some things regarding question and answer. We tend to make it a little bit interesting. We tend to talk about things that are going to keep us out of bad star ratings. Namely, it's stuff from my own experience, which is not very long. Started last year. For those of you that don't know, around late 2017, and was able to pick it back up after I retired and toward the end of summertime this year. So, to recap, had a very, very, very slow morning in Royal Oak, where I was sort of hoping to have maybe some long trip rides pan out from the bar closing time frames and stuff like that. Didn't happen, and it's all good, because eventually the people around the area needed to get to work. So basically it was a waiting game, and it was about waiting until everybody's rip roaring, running around and ready to go do that. The first couple rides I had were very easygoing. The gentleman had car trouble. He was very fortunate to have the services available, so get him back to his house. Pretty much, he works at the auto plant, making the Jeeps, and apparently they're down for a week and they'll be back up next week or something. So for him, it was another day where he could just do stuff at home. And generally, good conversation. The next two rides were very interesting. Lots of passive aggressivity. These two women riders, very interesting. The first one was a younger woman, and was kind initially and seemed very nice. And then as I began to get closer to the drop-off location, it was having me do what the apps typically will do to drop the rider off without having to make too many left turns. More of a swoop them up on the side or in the back or something like that, and kind of get them to where they can just simply get out on the right side of the vehicle, and that way they don't have to get out. That way there doesn't have to be too many left turns being made. So the issue was simply with her is when I was in the left turn lane, I was on 9 Mile in Ferndale at a street called Lidditch. And when I'm already in the turn lane at this point, it's not safe for me to transition out of the turn lane and to continue down the avenue. Most people understand this. Most people, they heed it. She didn't give me any direction prior to the drop-off location. So following the app, I simply told her I was unable to, because it was not safe, I was unable to deviate from my left turn. And she directed me, well, okay, go ahead and take the alley. So I then proceeded to go the route that she wanted me to go. There was a car coming down the alley, a block down from where it was having me drive. So in a sense, it was putting me in oncoming traffic. So in a way, she had a point at that moment. So going back out on the 9 mile, again, I had to make 2 left turns until I finally placed her into a driveway, or my vehicle pulled into a driveway where she could get out safely between the two buildings, and was able to go into work to the building on the left. Now, had we had driven one more lot through the alley, it would have been fine. But following the rider's request, I complied, tried to help her out. Well, she began to complain about, well, what's the reason for calling an Uber if I'm not going to be dropped off, in a place that's not convenient for me, or something like that. And I began to think about that. Well, the reason why people call for Uber is because they need transportation, because they are happy to at least have a way to get to work in a safe way. And I reminded her that road safety, driving safety, safety of the passengers and myself comes first before any kind of convenience or, more savvy way to get to the entrance of a workplace or anything like that. I mean, I do understand it's nice to be dropped off at a front door, but most businesses these days have employee entrances, back doors, things like that. So, nonetheless, I, you know, used some verbal judo, and she basically was thinking I was going to argue. I did not. Apologized for her feeling like she was inconvenienced. And I also told her to have a better day. And she immediately assumed by her comeback that I was perceiving that she was angry. Passive aggressive, definitely. And shot back and said, "Oh, I'm okay. I'm going to have a good day. You too," or something like that. I mean, just how about just being grateful and glad that you have someone to take you to work? Next person. Everything seemed okay. Pulled up. What happens when we normally pull up in a busy morning on a side street? Just when you hope that the rider can come right out and meet you curbside? No, she wanted to wait in her home the entire time till my vehicle was in front of the home. All this did was delay, because I had a series of events where I had to pull over 2 car lengths forward and out of the moving traffic into the curb lane to safely wait there for her. She has a large tree in front of her house. It was kind of preventing her from seeing my vehicle. I had my four-way flashers on. She was not happy about this. She was definitely concerned and very hostile, or we'll just say very malcontented, because she felt like she was being charged wait time inappropriately. And I made it clear. I said, "Ma'am, I had to get out of the way of moving traffic." And again, I apologized to her that it was not convenient for her. But most people have been told and instructed and advised by the apps, when you are notified that your driver is near, that you are to proceed out to where it's safe to meet the driver, meaning you're to begin to go and meet your driver where your location is, not sit in your house until he pulls in front of your house. Because again, when she receives the notification that I'm there, that's the key. Time to leave the house. Guess she didn't, guess she wanted the front door service, I guess. Well, rideshare can't always provide the front door service. But again, customer service is very important in reminding people about road safety, how you need to avoid being in moving violation territory in terms of with the police. You don't want to give them a reason to pull you over or give them the reason to, chide you with their air horn or something like that if you're blocking the way. Let's say in a busier street area where there's a few rideshare cars and stuff like that. Usually they understand that rideshare cars are going to end up blocking the street temporarily waiting for their riders. But it's the excessive time frames or the way drivers tend to block streets accidentally, such as the angle standing. If you're going to stand nice and parallel with or nice and nice and parallel, I guess you could say, with the curb lane. So, but again, this is 5 minutes that I could not wait for this woman to get out of my car. And she's probably not watching this or anything, but if she is, sorry, but you really did not make my morning. And I hope you have a better morning, but whatever was going on that you decided to think that I was doing all this stuff on purpose or that I wasn't trying to meet you, whatever, I don't get it. But again, probably not going to be watching this video. And definitely got the vibe from her that we exist to serve them only, like we are slaves, like we are lowly servant boys and girls out here, and that's all we do. No, that's not what we're doing. We are contractors helping people out with a service that Uber allows us to use and Lyft allows us to use their technology to better our business and to streamline our business and to use their technology, and that way they benefit because we're complying with some regulations and some community agreement that we've all understood and are going to be abiding by as close as we can. But some people have a sense of entitlement out here. My last passenger was extremely friendly, glad that he had a ride to work. I guess what I wanted to say is not necessarily to vent here, but to definitely point out to passengers, getting them somewhere safe is the primary concern. Everything else, is just, it's kind of nice, convenient window dressing. It's nice, convenient customer service that you could provide and go above and beyond. But the whole bottom line is transportation for those that don't have access to driving their own car. So it's not like a George Jetson type of a thing, or something pulls up, some machine drives up, and then you just fall right into the machine, and then you go down the road, and then you get out exactly where you want to get out, and that's not the way it works. So anyways, just thought I'd put those things out there. The navigation buffered on this last one. Had to shut it down. Had the gentleman direct me exactly where he wanted me to go to his work. It was not far from where his apartment complex was. But again, when that app starts buffering, it's when everyone gets frustrated. Or that's when I get frustrated. I'm just glad it didn't happen on New Year's Eve. So, well, I had a little bit of an extended nap this morning at my favorite Tim Hortons. So, gonna be out there and getting a few more rides here before I go in for the day. So, it's a beautiful sunny day out right now. I'm in Southfield, Michigan, and it's been a pretty good night. Getting closer to the goal. Drive safe, and like, comment, and kindly subscribe if you like what you see. Let me know how you feel about the channel, the frequency rather. Let me know, give me a little input. Would be nice. And let me just fire out a quick question. Well, I guess we'll wait until the next videos. Getting a little long here, 16 minutes. Sorry to keep y'all hanging in for so long. All right, peace. Have a good rest of your day.